Does credit scare you? Well, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the proper mindset that we all need to have when it comes to credit, how to properly use your credit, and the mindset behind that, because it is such an empowering tool if you understand how to properly leverage your credit. Credit is not about taking on debt, but it's about acquiring assets that cash wouldn't always allow you to do, like being able to purchase a property. But there's work that has to be done. You're not going to just be able to buy a property or get a lender to loan to you if you don't establish history of being able to pay your bills on time. And not just with one type of an account, but mixture of accounts. Credit lines, lines of credit, credit cards, installment loans, even auto loans, personal loans, student loans. Those all count against you. And that's why in today's video, we're going to be breaking it down on why this is so important, how you can easily and, with minimal effort, make your credit report good enough and make the right decisions to be able to empower you to leverage credit as well in a healthy way. Let's get started. Now, today's video was inspired by one of my followers, so I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I'm going to read the comment here because this is what I think a lot of people can actually relate to. He said, I'm always finding people who are more scared on talking on credit. They see credit like it's a bad thing and not seeing how empowering it is. Like when you break things down, you got a card or two that you can use. They don't have a plan on paying it back, so I think they just avoid it. But we need videos on steering people how to make a system or plan to maintain their cards. And that is a great topic because a lot of people are like, I don't need credit, I hate credit, because you got in trouble with it or maybe you had a bad experience with it, right? Credit is about mindset. You have to change your mind on how you look at credit and how you look at debt. Credit is a tool, and there's a very fine line between a tool being harmful and a tool being able to help you complete the job and get to the next level. The way that we want to use this tool is the empowering method, because a lot of times people have no education with regards to credit, and you shouldn't take anything on unless you have full intent on paying it back in full, because credit is the ability for lenders to see you fit to pay back as agreed. If they see you as a risk, they're not going to lend to you, but some people will lend to you with, just terms that are out of control and make it not even worth it. So that's why today we're going to be talking about what you need on your credit report, because you do need a few credit cards and a few installment loans. You don't need many, but we're going to teach you how to properly use these things and make them a tool that you can use long term. We don't want to overextend ourselves and get a bunch of credit builder accounts and a bunch of accounts that we really don't care about, banks don't care about. And to be frank with you, I see so many people get late payments on them. It's not worth it if you can't fully commit. So I would rather go slow and steady and focus on quality trade lines that are reported to your credit report versus all of this other stuff that's just not important, okay? Especially if you have big dreams of purchasing your home, being able to finance a home, because ultimately that's what credit can be leveraged for, is being able to purchase assets like a property that, a lot of people don't have $400,000 laying around that they can just go buy a property in full. And that's why we use the tool credit. A lot of people are not able to go buy a vehicle in full. That's why we have credit, but I don't recommend financing a bunch of vehicles in your name until you purchase that home, because that can affect your debt to income. While installment loans do not affect your credit utilization, they do affect your debt to income. Debt to income is not a contributing factor to your credit score. Your credit score is made up of 6 contributing factors: payment history, paying your credit bills on time, your credit card and credit lines of credit, that utilization, and that number needs to be below 15%. Most cards should have a zero balance, and you only want to have a card balance on maybe 1 to 2 cards at best. Rotate those, so for 1 or 2 months or maybe even 6 months at a time, you're using some cards and then you put the other cards on, or you use the other cards for gas, groceries, things that you would normally swipe your debit card for. You just want to make sure that you use the credit card tracking log, because I have put together a credit card tracking log that's going to help you. Now, this credit card tracking log is free inside of the credit kit. Comment the word credit kit and I will send you access and you can get this credit card tracking log. Make a copy inside of your Google Drive so you can put all your credit cards in here and become organized. It's really important to understand which cards are going to be best fit for which category, because some cards give higher points on purchasing gas or grocery with them, and so on and so forth. So you can put all that information in here, the date that they were opened. You don't want to close credit cards right now. It's not a good time. I just had a credit card close and it dropped my credit score like 15 to 20 points depending on what bureau you looked at. So you want to keep those open for as long as possible, but treat them like a debit card. All right. Understand the last day of the billing cycle. That's going to be your statement date. Your due date is a different date. The last day of your billing cycle, whatever that balance is, that's going to be reported to the credit bureaus. So you don't want a 90%, 80%, or anything over 20% utilization reporting to the credit bureaus. This is a tool to help you stay organized so you don't mess up. All right. You want to pay your utilization down on that card about 5 days before the last day of the billing cycle. So that way, when the billing cycle comes around, your balance is very low, and that low balance will get reported to the credit bureaus. The next day, you can start charging things on it, and you want to have, most of your cards on the same schedule, or you can split them. Half will end in the middle of the month for the statement date, half will end maybe at the beginning or the end of the month. So that way, if you do need to make a balance transfer, you can. Short-term fix, but it does help, because the last thing that you want to do is have a balance. Say you have a $5,000 credit card and you have a balance of $4,500, which is 90%. You don't want to allow that to report to the credit bureau. Make sure you have auto payment set up on time every month for the minimum amount due. So that way, at best, you're just paying the minimum, and then you can make more payments to this account throughout the month. I recommend, again, treating these like a debit card. You can pay on your credit cards weekly if it makes it easier for you, or bi-weekly according to your payroll schedule. But you have to have a schedule. If you don't have a way to properly pay these things back, it's not a good idea for you to even get them, because the last thing that we want to use credit for is to live on and not be able to pay back. All right. You have to have the means to be able to pay these funds back. It's borrowed money. It doesn't belong to us, and it's hard for it to just go away. And that's where our mindset needs to come into play, because it is 2026, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Times have changed. AI is here to stay and only getting better by the day. Technology is blown our minds just in these last few years. So that has helped the credit industry be able to verify data as well, because so much data is shared, and they are much likely going to say, hey, this account belongs to you. You paid it from your bank account. It belongs to you. So you just have to make sure that you treat accounts properly and respect these accounts. You don't need a bunch of accounts. You only need maybe, 4 to 6 credit cards, 2 to 4 installment loans, right? If your ultimate goal is to buy a house, don't get a bunch of installment loans unless you plan to pay them back pretty quickly before you apply for your home. All right, because that can affect your debt to income. Don't buy a big fancy car before you buy your home. Get your home first, and then you can qualify for that big fancy car, because those cars just get in the way of your debt to income when it comes to purchasing your first home. So this is a great way for you guys Again, stay on track, all right? It's got a lot of details in here. If you have a perfect credit card history, you can help other people by adding them as an authorized user on your credit cards. You can add your children on as an authorized user. So when your children turn 18, they'll have at least a 700 credit score because your good credit history. They're able to piggyback by being added as an authorized user. But a lot of people, they don't take it serious. They mess it up over a little bit of nothing. And when you think about big term, $5,000 is nothing compared to what we want in life. We want to be able to own a home, right? There's so many programs out there that will allow you to buy a home with minimal down payment, like the NACA program, NACA.com. This is a great program if they have it in your area, which will allow your average renter to be able to buy a home. But just like with this program and many more home buying programs, you have to show your ability to pay on time over time. So they want to see at least 24 months of on-time payments. Some places you might be able to get away with 12, but that's why it's so important to demonstrate those on-time payments well in advance, because credit is a long-term benefit and it might not happen in 6 months or 12 months, but it's something that is slow played over time and showing your ability to pay on time, make the right decision. And even if you are going through a financial hardship, you have to be able to prioritize your credit and say, oh, screw that. Because at the end of the day, minimum payments are, usually pretty low on things unless you've just acquired a bunch of debt. But, I understand things happen, but we have to be able to put our credit first. We have to put ourselves in a position where we have multiple sources of income. So if you do lose your job, that's not your end all be all. You have other sources, because every, wealthy person out there has multiple streams of income. All right. And what those streams may be for you, you got to think about those things, put them into action, and not acquire unneeded debt. Some debt is okay. There's good debt, there's bad debt. But if you want to be able to leverage your credit for long-term success, you got to pay on time. Credit utilization can always be fixed. Sometimes if you get into a pickle, that can always be fixed as long as you just pay on time, making the minimum payments due. All right, but you got to commit to that. Because if you can't even commit to that, you're just setting yourself so far back. One late payment can drop your credit score 100 points. Okay, so the goal here is to have everything paid on time, focus on quality banks, focus on quality decisions moving forward, because successful people, their mind focus is what is the next level I can get to. Right? So instead of being a renter, let's be a homeowner. All right, let's drive a nicer car after we become a homeowner. Let's reward ourselves for our hard work. All right, but you have to get on the path and stay on that path and have that mindset that, you're taking your relationship with credit serious. All right, you are prioritizing credit for the first time in your life, because we were never taught this information. There's nothing to be ashamed of, but $5,000 for us to run off on the bank with is a drop in the bucket for them, but we are the ones suffering. So if you really want to play this game of life, you got to understand the game of credit, because it's chess, not checkers. They don't teach you anything, right? They want people to fail so they can continue to charge them more for everything in life. Once you get your credit in order, everything falls in place. Once you have the mindset of, I'm getting credit to build my future, to acquire assets for my family and build generational wealth and break this curse, because credit can do that for every single person in your family. Your children can buy properties in their early 20s if they are prepared accordingly. So there's so much that can positively happen from having credit. Credit is not a bad thing, okay? You don't have to have a ton of credit cards. Like I said, 4 to 6, 2 to 4 loans, and you're golden. Get some credit unions, start brewing, build some relationships with the banks, and you'll get there, my friends. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Make sure that you have subscribed to the channel, like, comment below, check in, let me know you're here. If you want the credit kit, comment, and I'll send it to you. And most importantly, thank you so much for watching today. I appreciate you so much. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.